Inside of today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a complete guide for the brand new Duels challenge, which is coming into the game tomorrow. There'll be 5 maps, and hopefully you guys can get 10 wins with all the brawlers and tips I suggest to you guys. So quickly before we go into it, I did receive my brawlies finally yesterday, and a big thank you to you guys for the continued support recently. It's been insane, and also just to show you guys what it looks like, it's pretty insane, so we'll have that in the background somewhere. So big thank you to you guys, and as always, make sure you use the creator code. That'd be greatly appreciated. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright guys, jumping into set number 1, we have no surrenders. So of course this is Duels, you're literally on your own right here. You only have 3 brawlers to get the win, and also you get 50 credits and 150 power points for getting 1 win and 2 wins, so pretty good overall. But as you can see, the map actually isn't in the game right now or within friendly battles, so you're gonna have to see a different map. But anyways, in terms of this map then, in particular, you see there's only a few grass tiles, so long range is the name of the game. So my best composition, I've gone with Jean, Nanny and B. So whenever I play this map, I really like Jean, so it's not going to be your kind of sharpshooter that will literally just destroy everyone straight away, but he will eventually trickle people down, and that is the name of the game with Jean. So just making sure that you're always conserving a few pieces of ammo and just keep at your max range and just constantly chip them down. You're going to eventually kill them because you can just stay at that max distance, and as long as you're stopping their regen every single time, you're going to be doing really good with Jean. But Nanny is next up, so normally Jean probably get taken down by some sharpshooters. Nanny in turn will just destroy those sharpshooters because Nanny will literally beat every single other sharpshooter. That's just what she does, and of course her super is going to be really good as well. So if you're a good sharpshooter with Nanny, go ahead with it. And then next up, well, lastly, I went for with B because B is also good against sharpshooters. She will probably get countered by the likes of Nanny and Piper, but by then you'll probably take them out with Nanny, and if you have to rely on B, she's going to be your safety net. So against those more tanky brawlers, which you might be scared of, you know, B's just going to easily shut them down on a map like this. It's a lot of really good options, but to be honest, this is round number 1 and 2, and you're probably going to face a lot of bots, a lot of people using the likes of Edgar, just some really dumb brawlers. So to be honest, don't really think about it too much. Use brawlers that you're really comfortable with. So that's going to be set number 1. Let's jump into the second set. Okay, so next up, we're moving on to 4 lakes. So this map is actually in friendly battles already, and I think it's already been in a rotation. But for me, I didn't get a chance to play it if it was in a rotation. But in friendly battles, it's pretty obvious who's the best brawler in this map. Eve. You know, Eve's so toxic in a lot of these maps in the game right now in Duels. And of course, with the lakes in the middle, it's going to make it really easy to dominate with Eve. So literally at the beginning of your brawler choice, just go with Eve every single time. You're probably going to beat every single brawler with her because it's so awkward in the middle. So of course, being able to go over the water is really strong, so I definitely recommend Eve. And then next up, I went with Otis just because Otis, you know, probably the brawlers that are going to take down Eve are probably even more tankier brawlers because she doesn't of course have like the highest DPS. So if you struggle at beating tanks, Otis will just shut them down so easily. There's no way a tank should be able to deal with an Otis on this map in particular. You can just more easily stay around the middle water, and tanks shouldn't really have any issue. And then I put B at last. I didn't really know who to put as the last brawler, to be honest. I just went with B as well because she's a sharpshooter and should be able to excel on a map like this. But you could easily go with another choice like Lou, for example, or Penny, or even a Janet if you want to target enemy Eves. If you think you're going to face off against a lot of Eves, Janet and Penny are really good options for counters because they can easily take Eve on in a 1v1. I actually went with some other good options as well. You know, Frank, with the amount of HP he has, could be a really underrated pick as well. Spike is always strong in Duels, one of my go-to brawlers, but these are a lot of good options. Let's hop into the next one. So now moving on to set number 3, we have Monkey Maze. So another map which I didn't get the chance to play, so there's no gameplay for it, but you know, I've had a decent amount of game time on this map, so hopefully you guys can get some good tips off this. So also I forgot to mention the rewards. It was 80 credits and 300 credits for set number 2, and set number 3 was 80 credits and 1,000 star points. So some really good rewards inside of this one. So for Monkey Maze, and so as you saw already by the graphic, there's a lot of walls on here. So back when I played this map last time, Barley and Jackie and Sam were the best 3 brawlers because of those walls. Barley can actually, a really good Barley player anyways, can have a good matchup against pretty much everyone on this map, especially with the slow gadget, so bear that in mind. And then Jackie with the rebuild gadget can just be really toxic. You know, a lot of times the duel meta is just literally waiting for the gas to come in, and it's whoever just has the better brawler in that 1v1 scenario, whereas Jackie and Sam do have a good chance to win that. And then a lot of other options as well. You know, Otis can really shut down a lot of the tanks. You know, combine Otis with maybe like a wall breaker. You know, El Primo, you can actually use the wall breaking gadget. I think the asteroid belt, which will of course help out other other brawlers later on. But of course, you're facing off against the Jackie with Rebuild. It's going to be pretty hard. But then there's Stu, quite a flexible brawler to have. Gray can be good with his walking cane gadget to break open some of the walls. You know, if you're facing off against a thrower, Gray's of course going to have a really good matchup there. Then a bunch of other options as well. But for this map in particular, you've just got to be weighing up your options and seeing, you know, who's going to win the later fight. You know, if you've got a brawler which you know you won't be winning towards the end, you really need to push that fight early, or else they're just going to sit behind walls and just wait for the gas to come. So jumping on to set number 4, we have Magora. So this map has been in rotation already, so a lot of you guys might be familiar with this map and the meta around it. So again, this is just tips from my personal preference. Your brawler pool could be a lot different. So for me, I've gone with Gene again, just because there's a lot of bushes. His shots are really easy to scout. Of course, using a vision gear, that's really going to help you out. And to be honest, it's actually a lot more hide and seek than I thought, especially if you're playing a long game. And Gene's really going to help you out with that. So I actually went for the second pick as Leon. I tested it out a few times. I think Leon is really underrated on this map because there's a lot of bushes that you can actually hide with. And I just feel like he takes down a lot of the sharpshooters really easily. So a good Leon player, definitely make sure to pick him on this map. And then I went with Nanny because Nanny is just the king of sharpshooters, well, the queen of sharpshooters, because Nanny will just be able to take down every single brawler pretty much all of the time. Really easily, especially with the other gadget as well. And then a super can just one-shot literally every single sharpshooter as well. So I went with B as well. B is just, again, that brawler that if you're scared of facing tankier brawlers, you can always go because she can definitely beat those sharpshooters as well. Max is just really good. If you're a really good Max and got the wiggles, Max can just pressure brawlers so easily on this map, especially against those sharpshooters. If you've got a few good jukes, you can literally just melt people so easily with Max. Gus as well, so easy to hit shots with, especially against his fellow sharpshooters. So I'll always go with Gus, especially if I want to really dominate in that fashion. And then the same old culprits, you know, Crow can actually be really good at scouting and also just good against if you're facing off against any tankier units. Once you get your super, it should be pretty much GG. Spike as well with the vision gear, really strong, of course. It's going to really help you out in those bushes. So a lot of good options on this map. Should be pretty plain and simple because it's just literally a 1v1. So moving on to the 5th and final set, we have No Excuses. So again, another map where I'm going to have to use different gameplay, but in terms of the compositions, they're pretty much same to a lot of the other longer range maps, to be honest. I'll put Bonnie, B and Spike is my favorite 3. Bonnie can be really good because she's decent against those sharpshooters, and then once she gets the super, she can take down a lot of the squishier brawlers. So that's why I personally like Bonnie on this map. Also, you get 300 coins and 600 coins for winning this one, and also a spray. But it's also a lot of other options. Of course, Max can be really good in the open, especially good against those sharpshooters. And if you use run and gun, she can actually do a lot of damage, which a lot of people really do underrate. You've got Gus as well, which is just a decent sharpshooter, really easy to hit shots with Gus. And of course, you've got the shield to protect him. And then Crow is just decent against everything. That's more so if you face off against a tank, you can be really good with the slows. And then maybe if you already have the jump as well, you can just jump onto the more squishy brawlers. Gene as well, just really good at just chipping brawlers down. And then once you get your super, you can kind of camp behind a wall. And if you know your judgment's right, you can easily like 2-tap or 3-tap people with that super. You know, Luke can be pretty toxic as well if you're facing off against the tankier brawlers. And then Stu, Otis, Penny, and Janet. So you really want some flexible options with this map. It's quite wide open. I suspect you won't really face a lot of tankier brawlers, but again, brawlers like B and Spike are there because they're good against everything. Like Spike can shut down tanks, also decent against longer range brawlers as well. Same with B as well. So those are going to be your best options for this map. Alright guys, it's going to be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed this one. So to be honest, I didn't really include too many tips because it is duels at the end of the day. It's literally a 1v1, so it's down to how you play it. And of course, there's literally 65 brawlers in the game. It's quite hard to really predict what you're going to be facing off against, but for the majority of the part, I've included brawlers that will just be good against as many other brawlers as possible. Like, of course, some of them might have its weaknesses. I'm not expecting you just to literally win every single time with the first brawler. You know, you've got 3 brawlers to really rely on, so making sure you're covered all points, making sure that you've got a brawler that's good against sharpshooters, you've got a brawler that's decent against throwers, and a brawler that's good against tanks. So one brawler might cover multiple of those avenues. So that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.